guys, this is Carrie from Tone Wars. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. We're really excited to hang out with you and to have you be part of our community. If you like what you see here, here's a couple ways you can support the channel. We always appreciate super chats very much, but here's a couple other ways you can support the channel and get something in return other than just content. If the super chat feature doesn't work for you, or if you're watching after the live stream, Jarrod's PayPal account link is listed below. Any donation of any amount is greatly appreciated. Since the show is sponsored in part by Motor City Guitar, we've included an affiliate link below. By clicking the link below, everybody wins. You're getting a great deal on some awesome equipment, you're supporting a store that has tons of inventory and great customer service, and you're supporting Tone Wars. And on top of all of that, if you live outside of the state of Michigan, whenever you buy anything from Motor City Guitar, you don't pay any sales tax. And last but certainly not least, you can visit our website at tonewars.com. The link is below. There you will find some awesome KEMPER profile packs with the tone and feel guitar players love. You will also find presets for the very popular HELIX, HX Effects, HX STOMP, and Pod Go. Alright, the show's about to begin. We look forward to hanging out with you, so grab your favorite drink and join us in the live chat.
Welcome to Tone Wars.
Well, there you go. There's a bunch of songs for you. Oh my God. Woo! I'm drinking coffee. I crashed. I was gonna I went upstairs and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna take a shower and get ready for the show. It's been a long day screwing around here, running around doing errands all day. And I fell asleep. I woke up like an hour before I went live. So I came down here, made coffee, and warmed up, and here I am. Apparently I needed the nap, so what's going on, guys? Thanks so much for joining me. I appreciate you being here. Let me go back. Sean Casey, Gunnerman54, Matt Force. What's up, man? Hesher, Daryl McMillan, Jason Taylor, what's happening? Matthew Pearson, what's going on? He said, good evening. Warmcord, what's going on, Jay? Let me turn my volume down, sorry. And I know where Jay's at. Jay's in his oasis in his backyard right now. This dude has the best backyard I've ever seen. I mean, the oasis he gets to hang out in every day. Yep. Awesome. He's got that awesome fire table, and he's got an awning and just all the chairs and all the cool stuff. He's out there having a good old time. I know he is. He said, proud Badlander owner as of last month. Myself, records great and sounds amazing through the aux. I agree 110%, man. This amp it's ridiculous. It's so good. I had to have it. I'll tell you the story behind that in a minute here. At 28080, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. He said, please don't make me regret selling my Rackmount Badlander. I will do my best to do that, because I think you should get it back, dude. This amp is really good. Really freaking good. Acoustic, what's going on, buddy? Cold Damn Beer, what's happening? I saw your name, so I played your favorite song. I glanced over and saw you here, so I played Time Flies for you. I hope you enjoyed that. Sean Casey, sounds good. He says, thank you. Yeah, it's a good amp, man. CS, what's going on, Chris? He says, ahoy, mates. The captain has arrived. Let us commence with the Jam Fest. Arr! What's going on, man? He said Wormcord says he refers to his Badlander as Billy Badass. It's a great amp, man. Let me scoot over here. That's what it looks like, the rack mount version. I don't have a rack. I don't have it in a rack yet, but I will put it in there. But you know, Matt Force from Motor City texted me. He's like, hey, we got some 100-watt Badlanders in. It's a rack mount version. And I was like, you know what? I think it's time I got myself a Badlander. I've had the 100-watt on the show. Then I had the 50-watt on the show. And when I had the 100-watt, I didn't know what to expect. I was expecting like this, like EVH type gain and like this crazy amounts of, you know, saturation and aggression and stuff. And I'm like, so I get, because it's, you know, it's the modern Mesa, you know, it's the modern metal amp, and I got it, and it sounded great, but I expected it to be more aggressive than it was. So then I was like, well, it's still a great amp. I you know, it's like that first impressions thing. You got to get the, you know, your own perceptions and expectations out of your head, and then deal with reality, and then you got to figure out, like, is the reality version of it still good, or is it kind of like disappointing? And I didn't have it long enough to really figure that out. Then the 50-watt came in, and between the first time and the second time I had it, I bought the Diezel Cab, and I really liked this cab a lot. And I also bought the aux box. So when I had the 50-watt on, that's when I was like, dude, this amp is freaking stupid good. I really like it. And so then, as time went by, it just kept haunting me. Like, you know, I just had this thing where I was like, I gotta get a Badlander. I just have to get one, because I think it's Mesa's newest, latest, greatest, most modern metal amp, and it would be great to have on the shelf with all these other ones for comparison's sake and for just the sake of just playing it. So I ended up buying one. And I don't regret it at all. This amp slays. It is really good. You just got to dial it in right, you know, for your taste. Now that I've had more time with it, I'm really enjoying this amp more than I ever thought I would. So let me catch up to your comments here. Jeffrey Blanco, what's going on, buddy? He says, hello, the amp sounds great. I'm excited to hear it. I know that I love mine. Is it 100 watt or 50 watt? Thank you very much. It's 100 watt. Yeah, I mainly do Hundies on the show now because, I mean, I don't have to carry them around. So it's easy for me to be like, yeah, buy the 100. I mean, it sits on the shelf. So I just want all that headroom. You know, I just want it. But the 50 watt also sounded really good. So... yeah, I think either way you're good, you know. At 28080, all this amp is missing is MIDI. Maybe on the Mark II. Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. That's the one thing that I was kind of like, why doesn't it have MIDI? But I have to hook up, one of the experiments I'm going to do, I wanted to do that today, but time got away from me, is to see if the controller out on my amp will switch it. I know it works with my Mark 525. I think it'll probably work with this too. So that's my next experiment. That's what's so nice about the Helix is that it'll control pretty much anything. You know, it has that amp control out, which is a 1/4 inch jack. So you don't always have to have MIDI. And I'm going to see if I can switch with it. And if I can, it's going to be a huge win for me anyways. That's what's nice about having a Helix or an HX Effects. I'm telling you guys, like, those products are made, they were made to be the hub of your gear, you know, and to control, switch, route, and add effects to everything, and be able to loop all your pedals in there. It's 4 effects loops. I mean, it's an incredible piece of gear. As far as how the Helix sounds by itself with the amp models and stuff, yeah, it's pretty good, but you can't beat a real amp. And I think the Helix is really meant for not replacing your amps, but working with them. And the amps that are in there, again, sound good. But like I said, you can't replace the real amps. They're just amazing. So let's see here. CS, you can really tell he digs it by his playing. Oh yeah. I really dig in when I'm loving an amp. I really do. And this amp is here to stay. It is so good. And what I'm going to do is I played all my songs on the red guitar through the Diezel Cab. That's what you heard. The Diezel Cab with Royer R10 and the SM57 on the Dynamount there. I mic'd it up with a pair of those so that you can hear it through that. And then in a little bit here, I'll switch to my purple guitar, and then I'll play some songs for you with that. And then I'll switch to the aux box, take my in-ears off, I think, and I'll listen to everything through my studio monitors in the room here. Let's see here. Jeffy Blanco says, how does the built-in cab clone IR compare to the aux box? It would be interesting to hear a comparison. You know, that's a good question and a great idea for a quick episode. Let me screenshot that. Oops. Oh, I scrolled and then screenshotted. Sorry. There it is. Screenshot. All right, so I'm going to look into that. Thank you for the question. I'll find out. What I do know is when I shot the aux box out with the Cab Clone Plus, I think it was what it was, I thought the aux box sounded better, but we'll see. We'll see. I mean, it wasn't like, you know, like, oh, yuck, I can't stand the Cab Clone IR Plus. No, it sounded great. You know, it's just, you got to pick a winner, right? So the aux box was definitely the one I liked better. But I'll check. Let's see here. Wormcord says, although if you power it down to 50 watt and use the Variac mode, the amp does something pretty cool. It's hard to explain, but it's a trick that I found, just adds another dimension. No, you're right, Jay. He called me about that. And it does have the Variac, and I'll play that for you in a minute. I won't do it in a mix because the Variac does take the amp down, and as far as I'm concerned, I have everything mixed perfectly tonight, so I don't want to mess with the volume. But I'll play it by itself with the Variac, and he's right. It does add this nice kind of perfect amount of chewiness to the amp where, you know how you could get, because this is a modern metal amp, so you don't want it too spongy, you know, so it just adds a little bit of that chewiness, and I kind of like it. It's really cool, so you could go either way with it, and it does have a nice kind of feel to it. Jeffrey Blanco says... Oh, Live Ready Sound. What's going on here, Tim? What's going on, man? Good to see you. Steve Venchek. Sounds good. And yes, I will be doing profiles, by the way. Someone asked me earlier about are you going to be updating your profile pack with the Badlander? Hell yeah, I am. That's the first pack I'm updating because it's my most popular one. So I will be updating that very soon. Watch for a video on the channel about that. Jeffrey Blanco says, Cab Clone IR is a good feature to have if you don't want to spend so much money on that aux box. I think the Cab Clone IR is the exact same hardware as the Torpedo 2 notes, exact same DSP chips. Yeah, it is. You're right. You are absolutely right. Yeah, it's a nice feature to have. It really is. My chat just jumped a whole bunch, so if I miss anybody's comments, I'm sorry. Big Mike's here. What's going on, buddy? John says, the tone is killer, man. Thanks for the stream. You're welcome, and thanks for being here. The tone is killer. It's great. Jeffrey Blanco says, the cabinet has a huge effect. The speakers and cabinet basically sets the overall EQ. Oh, you're right. This cab is amazing. The G12 K100s are, as far as I know right now, my favorite speaker. You know, they really are. They're freaking awesome. Let's see here. Shred ain't dead. Finally, a Mesa with mids and bite. Probably the best Mesa out there besides the TC100. No, you're right. It's definitely like the most sculpted Mesa. I was telling a friend of mine the other day. I said, you know how when you're cooking and you got the teaspoon and then you scrape with the knife the top of the rounded part off. That's what they did with a lot of the stuff on this amp. They were like, okay, here's all the features, and then we're going to go ahead and scrape that rounded part off of everything. And you have just enough of everything. Everything's at a usable state. So I literally have the gain on this thing. It's at like just past 4 o'clock, you know, because it has just enough for what I do, you know. I found that the gain on this, especially if you turn it below noon, it just chokes the amp. So they gave you just enough, and then you slam it with an overdrive, of course. I think that was an issue that, you know, at first when they came out, there's that whole rumor, it doesn't need an overdrive. Yeah, it does. It needs an overdrive. It just doesn't need it as much as the regular dual Rex did, because they were really tubby, flubby, gooey, and loose, where this one's a lot tighter, but you can still slam it with an overdrive, and it sounds incredible. That's what you heard on those whatever songs I played in the beginning. So I slam every amp, you know. On that note, let's go ahead. I'm going to mute the room mic. Oh, by the way, Scott Fulmar, thank you so much for the super chat. Really appreciate that. He says, been waiting for this. Thanks. Thank you so much, sir. I very much appreciate you being here and for the super chat. I really appreciate it. If you guys are liking the video, please subscribe if you haven't, and give me a thumbs up, please, if you don't mind. I'd really appreciate that. And super chats are always welcome, because that's what keeps me motivated to keep doing this stuff. I do it for the love. It's a labor of love, but it's a labor nonetheless, right? So it's the way it is. I appreciate you very much. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off the overdrive pedal. We're still going through the Diezel Cab, and I'm going to play it without the overdrive. Then I'm going to kick the overdrive on. You'll see me. I'll just reach over and hit it. And then you'll hear the difference. And I'm telling you, you know, it needs an overdrive. But it's not a bad thing. All my amps need an overdrive. There's a $4,000 amp right there. It needs an overdrive. There's nothing wrong with that. It allows you to sculpt your sound the way you like it. And that's what's so cool about it. So let me mute the mic, and we'll overdrive off, then overdrive on. So yeah, definitely sounds better. It's more responsive with the overdrive on. You might want to change some of your settings on your overdrive, like if you're cutting too much of the lows. for other amps with your pedal, then just adjust that down or add a little more bass on the amplifier, depending on what you want to do. It's not as tubby as a lot of those other amps out there, but again, it could use a push. I mean, they really gave this thing like a total nip tuck on every feature, you know, and they're all usable and it sounds really good. And I love the voicing. I really do. The voicing on this amp is absolutely incredible. It loves to be recorded. It loves to be mic'd up. Excuse me. It'll sit perfectly in a mix without taking up too much space on the low end, like the old rectifiers. As good as they are, this one it's just trimmed, you know. It's just got that nice tailored kind of sound to it. And now that I've really gotten used to it more, I gotta tell you, I enjoy this amp more than ever now. It's definitely a keeper. Let's see here. Greetings from Germany. Sven, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you here. So Jeffrey wants to hear the cab clone versus Oxbox. Yeah, I will definitely give that a shot, you know. Figure out a title for it. That'd be kind of fun to watch, you know. But yeah, the Oxbox, oh man, you just wait. You just wait till I fire that bad boy up. That just sounds incredible. Let's see here. Jordan Boyd guitar. I was a little torn between this and a Rev Gen 120 Mark III. I went Rev. Should be here early May, but that Badlander sounds really impressive and great playing, by the way. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate that. I should probably take a nap before the show more often. Maybe that's the trick. Sitting on my cable here. Yeah, I have the Rev coming in mid-May as well. That's what they told both of us, I guess, right? Like I called Rev because I couldn't get any answers, and I says, hey. Just no big deal. I said, but I'm just curious when you're shipping. They said, probably mid-May. You know, I said, that's fine. You know, I can wait. And believe me, so I'm going to do a shootout with the Rev and the Badlander. And my friend Jay, who's in here from Warm Chord Music, we're actually going to have him bring his Mark II Generator 120 up here. And we're going to have an evening with Jay and myself. And we're going to basically compare the two. And see how much the Mark III has changed since the Mark II. And we'll set them up the same way and see what the comparisons are. And we'll set them up however we want. Like I'll dial his in the way I like it and dial mine in the way I like it and compare them, and he'll do the same thing. We'll have a good time with you guys. I think that'll be fun to compare them. I mean, where else are you going to get two Revs on the same channel in the same room? It's a hard thing to find, you know. So we'll be doing that for you guys. Jeffrey Blanco says, I think Mesa knows that everyone uses an overdrive boost pedal. Having that external to the amp just allows for more versatility since you can use whatever you want. Yeah, you're right, man. You are so right. I had a guy locally here a couple years ago who was an amp builder. He's passed on, God rest his soul. And he made amplifiers, and I actually asked him that question in a video. I said, so why do you have to have a boost pedal with an amp? You know, I said, why don't you just make it tight enough so that we don't need one? He said, here's why. He said, because if I make it the amp what I think is like tight enough and good enough where it doesn't need a boost pedal, other people are going to be like, I still need a boost pedal. Now the amp's too choked, and when I hit it with a boost pedal, there's not enough low end there to for the boost pedal to work with. So now it just sounds like a thin, choked amp, you know. I need that low end, and it's not there anymore, so I won't buy the amp. And he said, I will literally cut out about 80% of my market if I do that. He goes, a lot of people have asked me that. A lot of people say the same thing, like, yeah, if you just made it tighter, then you know, you would probably sell more amps. He goes, no, if I made it so that it didn't need a boost pedal, I would sell 80% less amps. Because again, what works for one guy doesn't work for another, and that's why there's so many boost pedals out there. I mean, shoot, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, I think I have 5 boost pedals. So it's like, even for me, I need, you know, more than one. So that's why there's so many out there, because everybody likes an amp to react and sound differently to their playing, their pickups, their style of music, everything. It all matters. So leaving that little bit of whatever looseness or whatever in an amplifier, enough for us to tailor our tone and our sound the way we like it, is the smartest thing an amp company can do. It really is. Because again, deciding on how tight my amp should be is my decision, not the amp builders, because their opinion doesn't always match mine or yours or vice versa. So that's why I'm grateful that they left enough tailoring for us to do ourselves, you know. Very good. So, yeah. Worm Chorus is looking forward to that episode, buddy. Yeah, he says the Rev Mark II is his favorite amp. It's a good amp. It really is, you know. Shred Ain't Dead says, Rev are killer amps. Love my G20. So many great features and tones. Most versatile amps out there. Yeah, they are very good. Very good amplifiers. What else do I have on the red guitar? I don't think I have anything else on this guitar that I could do. Maybe I should do... Well, I'll always switch guitars here. And then we can switch to the aux box in a minute. Maybe I could do, for comparison's sake, I can do a mix on the aux and on the cab back to back. Maybe that would be interesting. Yeah, let's do that. What the hell? Let's do a mix on both. Let's do 3 shots and a chaser on the aux, and then we'll switch to, or on the cab, then we'll switch to the aux, and just hear them back to back and see how they compare. I think that'd be interesting, right? Woo! All right, so let's get to that. We play a couple riffs on this guitar, and we'll get started. One second, I got to tune. I got new strings on both these guitars, and they are giving me fits tonight. It's a little cooler down here, and I heard some little bit of out of tune stuff going on. That doggone G string, I tell you. Here we go.
Alright, so there it was. I think the volume was a little low on the aux box, so sorry if it was a little off. That's what happens when you sound check quickly before going live. Let's see. Juan, what's going on? He says, can you expand on the reason differences between using the grid slammer on Crunch and Eros on Crush? I have the grid slammer only for my Badlander, he says. Sounds awesome, by the way. Thank you. Good question. I mean, I have the Eros here, and I found it depends on your taste and your style, pickups, all that, but I found the grid slammer. I haven't used it with this amp. Actually, Jay's borrowing it right now. You know, I know Kyle Bull did a video on that, and he mentioned that. I don't have it here to test it, so I really couldn't speak about that. But I just found with all my other amps, the grid slammer stayed on the shelf. It just didn't have the balls that I wanted. You know what I mean? It was a very mild overdrive pedal, and I wanted something, you know, I need something that unleashes the fury, you know. So but maybe dialing it in differently would help. So I'll have to mess with it next time I get my hands on it. But I really couldn't tell you the difference, to be honest with you, without having it here. The Eero sounds pretty good with it. I can switch between those right now. Let's see, let me make sure I'm on the right thing here. I'm on the aux. Let me mute the mic. So I'm going to start with the precision drive. I'll do a off and on. So the precision drive's off. So I'll play the amp, and then I'll kick the precision drive on. Then I'll turn the precision drive off. I'll play a couple riffs, then I'll kick on the Eros pedal. The Eros pedal is on the clip fat settings. That's where it's at. Okay, just so you know. All right, 1 second here.
Wow, the KSR Euro sounds really good with it as well. So that was what you heard the second time. I was just playing that. So that actually sounded really good as well. So yeah, I'll have to check out the Grid Slammer with it and see, see what I like better. But Darren West, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you here. Yeah, the Eros is a good pedal. It's on my board. I use it. I switch to it often just to have a different flavor. So it's definitely a good pedal. Let's see. Mechanical. Sorry, I don't have my glasses on. Mechanical Ron says your videos always sound great, even on my phone. Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that very much. Thank you. I appreciate that. So let me do something here. Where is it? I'm working on some new mixes for you guys too. They're just really difficult for me to write and play, and plus this is my busy time of year for pressure washing. So, but I do have some stuff that's about 70% done, like 3 songs right now. And I can't wait to get those done to share them with you guys. How's the mix with the aux box? Is it loud enough? Hopefully it's loud enough. Let me switch here. I'm going to switch to my studio monitors and take these in-ears off. 1 second. All right, hang on 1 second here. I got to mute the room mic. And there you have it. There it is. Yeah, that sounded... I'm listening to it through the aux in my studio monitors right now, and it just sounds incredible. I love how thick and rich it sounds. It's really good. Really enjoying that very, very much. Maybe I'll switch back to the cab and do... I don't know if I have any other songs left. I played pretty much everything tonight, but I'll see what I got here. Christopher, what's up, man? Thank you so much for the super chat. He says, I need a Tone Wars soundtrack to listen to on my rides. Ooh, that's a good suggestion. Well, I appreciate that. Maybe I can put something together. It's definitely something I want to do with all these mixes that I do, is go in the studio and have like an official recording of them. Yeah, I'll see what I could do. It's definitely something I've been wanting to do for a long time. It's just time, like time and money. Going to the studio costs money, but I'll see what, it's definitely on my list of things I got to do. Thank you, by the way. Let's see here. Let's see. Mechanical Ron, cabinet speaker details. Sounds so good. Thank you. So what you just heard was the aux box, and I used the... Let me pull up the app on that so I can tell you what I'm using. So it is the 4x12 CA V30, Cali V30. It just disconnected because I think my, yeah, there it is. Okay, 4x12 CA V30, 100 watt, and I have the ribbon 121 and the dynamic 57 on it. No EQ, no nothing, just straight up. You know, that's what you heard. And then on the Diezel Cab, what you're hearing is, well, it's a Diezel Cab. It's a 212, and it has the G12 K100s, and the mics are the Royer 410 and the SM57. And there's no pre or post processing. Everything's flat. There's no EQs on anything. You know, I think EQing mics is a good thing for recording and stuff, but for live and for demoing gear, I don't do it because I don't want you to, like, I don't know, I'm just trying to think of the right words here. Nothing wrong with it, but I want you to hear the raw stuff, so there's no trickery going on here. This is like literally how it sounds with no pre or post processing. It's as real as it gets. Jim Doyle, what's up, buddy? Good to see you here. He said it sounds incredible. Great playing as always. Thank you. I appreciate it. Good seeing you. I hung out with Jim for a little bit yesterday. We had fun. Did a little spraying, didn't we? A little house washing and stuff. Yeah, that was awesome. Jeffrey Blanco says it has an awesome liquid lead sound. I like how pinch harmonics sound on the amp too. Oh, you're right. It really does sound amazing. The leads are great. I'll monkey around with some more leads for you in a minute. Super Gigawatt, what's up, buddy? Good to see you here. Let's see. Yeah, let me. Man, I kind of did everything I was going to do tonight as far as my songs go. Let me see if I have anything else. If you guys got any requests as far as songs that you want me to play again, I have no problem doing that. I'll play whatever you want. It's just I don't want to pick them and bore you guys. So if you guys pick something, I'll play it for you. So tell me what you want. Tell me what song you want, and then tell me what you want to hear it on the aux or the Diezel Cab, and I'll do whatever you guys want. So and please tag Tone Wars so I don't miss your comments. So tag Tone Wars so I can get that for you. So let me just do some riffing and stuff on it, so you can hear it some more. 1 second. And this is, oh, by the way, this is the Crush channel, the Crush version. Let me do this. Let me switch between the Crush and the Crunch. So right now I'm on Crush, and I'll play a couple riffs, and when I spin around and hit the amp switch, you'll hear it on Crunch. Okay, 1 second. Mute. Alright, so there's some riffs, some leads, you know, crush channel, and the, you know, crunch channel. Dude, the crunch channel is perfect for rhythms. It's like, it's perfect. It's got just that right amount of clarity and saturation and aggression that you need, but it cuts off when you want it to. And then if you want that little bit of extra kind of spillover for the leads, the crunch or the crush channel works perfectly for that. So yeah, that's definitely, I mean, like I said, this amp is tailored so well. It's just very, very, very well tailored. It fits perfectly. It's like a good, well tailored suit, you know, as far as your tone and aggression and stuff goes. It just feels good to play, and it sits really well in a mix. One thing I don't like is when amp companies over tailor it, where it's like, yeah, this suit is so tailored. Like if you eat, you know, a good lunch, you won't fit in it. The buttons will pop. You know what I mean? I want a little bit of room to finesse the tailoring to my taste via overdrive pedal or whatnot. So one thing I will say is if you have an or if you have a guitar with low output pickups and you play metal, this amp will probably not have enough gain for you unless you really slam it hard with an overdrive pedal and crank the gain. I'm not saying all the way up, but you'll have to add more gain than usual on your overdrive. Like my overdrive pedal right now, the precision drive, the gain is at like 8 o'clock. I just put a little bit of dirt in there, and it makes that much a difference, and it gives me that little bit of security, you know. Yeah, so that's basically how it is. So, or you could just get you know, some more higher output pickups too. So it just depends. But I would recommend higher output pickups. You don't necessarily have to have active, but at least higher output. Both would work fine. And I think that that's one of the things that they had in mind too. They're like, well, most modern metal players, they either have actives or high output pickups. So let's make the amp tailored perfectly for those. And again, if you buy it and you find out it doesn't have enough aggression or gain for you, it might be your pickups. Seriously, it might be your pickups. So you might want to, before you return the amp and miss out on all this great stuff, might want to upgrade your pickups or change them, and then the amp will work perfectly for you. So that's just a little thing I learned over the years. Tech Death Hippie, what's up, buddy? He said it sounds way better than quad and digital stuff. Yeah, oh yeah, I'm all about the amps, man. I mean, the digital stuff's fun, and it's great to mess around with and play, and they're great convenience tools. But at the end of the day, this is where my true love is, where these big freaking honking amps here. They're amazing. Steve Shaheen, what's up, buddy? He says, sounds killer. Thank you. Yeah, man, Steve liked the amp too when he came over. He really enjoyed playing it. Next time we hang, dude, you can plug back into it. I'm sure you'll want to. Yeah, it's a great amp. Jim Doyle, again, thanks for being here, buddy. Let's see here. Sounds like John Petrucci, says Jeffrey Blanco. Yeah, it's got that kind of Petrucci tone, right? That nice tone. Let's see. Jeffrey Blanco says, Tone Wars, what are the settings you have on the amp on the Crush channel? Oh, I'll be happy to tell you. Let me... I used to have an amp on the table here, but now it's here. Hopefully you can hear me all right. So the master is at 9 o'clock. The presence is top dead center, right at noon. Base is just over noon. And the mids are scooped just a little bit. They're at 11 o'clock. Probably between 11 and 12. And the treble is at just over noon. That's on the crush. On the crunch channel, the presence is at almost 1 o'clock, just like 12:30, let's say, you know. Bass is top dead center. Mids are scooped a little more, probably 10 o'clock. And the treble is at 1 o'clock. Because that channel is more for rhythm, you know, is what I dialed it in for. So I just wanted that nice attack, and then I smoothed it out a little bit for the leads. So that's pretty much what I did. And I think it sounds really good like that. And I dialed it in, again, with my overdrive pedal, you know, according to that. So let's see here. William Potter, what's going on, man? He said, I got my Badlander Rackmount 100 a week ago. Congratulations. He said, once I accepted the fact that it is nothing like the past rectifiers, I began to really dial it in and fell in love. Yeah, man. Thanks for being here and commenting. It was the same with me. Like when I first had it on the show, I was expecting a rectifier, you know, like a dual rec, and I kind of treated it like one. And then I expected a dual rec with more gain or aggression, and it just took me a minute to adjust to it. You know what I mean? But once I adjusted to it, it's kind of like going into the wrong movie theater. Like you go in and you think you're seeing this movie, and you sit down and it starts and you're like, wait a minute, this isn't what I thought. Wait, did we misread the sign on the door? But then the movie starts and you're like, well, this is a pretty cool movie. Then halfway through you're like, I'm kind of glad I sat here. This has been a really good time watching this movie. It's kind of what it is, right? You know, so once you adjust to it and get that out of your mind, you're just kind of like, you know what, this is really good. So it took me a couple times having it on the show to really get used to it. Now it's just incredible. It sounds great. I love it. Let's see here. Svenzia, I am also here. What's up, buddy? Good to see you. Let's see. William Potter says, yeah, this amp has more than enough gain. I'd say even more usable gain than the previous models, as older Recs were basically only useful with the gain between 10 a.m. and 1 p.m. Yeah, I mean, it definitely has. Let me switch back to the real speaker, okay? Yeah, the gain on this amp, you can crank it all the way up, and it doesn't get gooey. It doesn't get too hairy or muddy, you know? It really does really well with the gain cranked. I mean, like I said, I got mine, it's all the way up at 4 o'clock, and it works perfect for me. I love how it sounds. So let me turn my in-ears on here. Okay, so we're back to the in-ears and the real cab. Make sure I got that. Alright, so let's do this. I'm going to do the gain at 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and cranked. Okay, so let's do that. I'm going to do it without the overdrive first, and then with the overdrive after that, so you can hear that. 1 second. Okay, so it's at 9 o'clock right now. So again, no overdrive pedal. 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, cranked. Here we go. Wow, pretty big difference. Like at 9 o'clock, it's pretty much useless, right? I mean, it's like, it's choked, thin, and it sounds like it can't breathe. You know, you get up to noon, and you get into some pretty decent crunch territory. This is on the Crush channel, by the way, and it's got this nice kind of moody, riffy kind of feel about it, and I really like it. It would be fun just for some classic rock riffs or even some modern breakdown kind of stuff where it's just got this fun character to it. So it's just fun to play. And again, overdrive's off, so it really does have a lot of good properties about it. Even at noon. 3 o'clock, that's when you're getting into, all right, now we're cooking, you know, now I got the gas pedal down a little more and it feels and sounds amazing. And then cranked, it was all the way up and it still sounded and felt really good. It wasn't mushy or muddy or anything. It just had a great character to it. So now let's do the same thing, 9 o'clock. All right, so 9 o'clock, and I'm going to turn the overdrive on. For this, so it's 9, 12, 3, and all the way up. Let's see what that sounds like. Wow. You know what's cool about this that I just discovered is it all sounds great. Like with the overdrive on, 9 o'clock was still a little thin, but as soon as I got to noon, I was like, dude, this is great. It feels great. It's fun. Even had the more fun factor to it. 3 o'clock, noon, all the way up, it all sounded very clear. It wasn't muddy. Lots of great clarity and note and string separation. It just, like I said, they really tailored this amp about as good as you could tailor one. So, just now, I fell in love with this amp even more. So it's great to experiment and do that, and that's what I've learned on this show is doing stuff like this for you guys. I'm doing it for me too. Like I'm learning stuff every time I do something like that. So, yeah, I was like, now I like the amp even better, you know. So. Yeah, freaking amazing. That is really freaking cool. And you're right, it does have plenty of gain, especially when you go from 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock with the overdrive on. That's when you're like, you know what, this works. A lot of it's relative, right? So you really appreciate the gain that it has at 3 o'clock more when you go from 9 to 3. And even at noon, I think it's got a great, like, really cool, riffy kind of thing going on, and it's like I said, it's fun to play. So, Really, really cool amp. Very cool. Yes, Svenzia says 12 with the OD is sweet. It really is. I'm going to go back to that in a second and play some more and see see how that sounds. Let me do 12 o'clock in a mix. Yeah, let's do that real quick. What guitar do we... I'll switch guitars and do that in a mix. I got a mix that would be perfect for that. Jeffrey Blanco says, I think 3 o'clock or higher is more than enough gain. Yeah, you're right. 3 o'clock's great. The reason why I had it set at 4 was because I was doing rhythm and lead on it, and I wasn't switching channels, so I found that sweet spot for leads too. But yeah, if I had a rhythm channel, I would put it on crunch mode and put it at around 3 o'clock, and it just has that really nice, juicy, tight feel to it. So, all right, so let me switch guitars. Let's have some fun before I close out the night here. Yeah, I've had a weird day. I've been tired all day. I've been living on 4 to 5 hours of sleep a night for like the last 3 weeks, and it caught up to me today. I got kind of a headache right now, so that's fun. Maybe I need to eat something. So I'll do a couple, more things here, and I'll close out for the night. I got to get some food in me, I think. Coffee with no food, sometimes that's not a good thing. Get that weird headache going on. Drink some water here. All right. Okay, so let's put it at noon on the Crush channel. Overdrive on, and I'm gonna do a mix I already did, but let's do Disjointed. Got the red guitar. Let me mute the mic here. 1 second. Okay, that was actually pretty good. I think that's a good recording gain setting where if you're stacking the tracks, like quad tracking or whatever. For live playing, it was good, but let's see what it's like at 3 o'clock. I'm going to do that same mix again. I have a feeling I'm going to like it better. Let's just see though, okay? And this headache's coming on strong too. 1 second here. Yeah, that was perfect for me for a rhythm channel. That sounded really freaking good. So I liked that a lot. I thought that was pretty much perfect for live playing. Again, in the studio, if I was quad tracking or even double tracking, I might split the difference. Maybe go at 2 o'clock, you know, for multi-tracking. But man, it just really, oh God, my head. It really sounds freaking amazing. So yeah, I think you guys would really like this amp. I highly recommend it. And the thing I like too is the new tube smell. You know, when you turn on the amp for the first time and it's still kind of breaking in, and all the electronics in there are still getting used to the heat, and the whole room smells like that ozony kind of hot electronics. I love that smell, so it's awesome. Let's see here. Oh, Jason Taylor, you want the Sphinx again? Oh, okay. Thanks for putting up long hours to bring us all that awesome content. Get some Tylenol for that headache. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's definitely something I need to do. It's hitting me real hard right here. It's like just like a knife in my head. Warmcore wants Gravedigger. Yeah, that's what that's a good song, man. Sounds brutal. This amp can get brutal too. Yeah, it really can. So Jason Taylor wants the Sphinx, and Jason Taylor is awesome. He's always here, and he's a great guy, and I will happily play the Sphinx for him. Maybe it'll cure the headache, or it might make it worse. Either way, it's worth it. You know? Oh, man. So let's do the Sphinx. So I'm running through the Diezel Cab right now. So let's see here. Turn that up. Let's do the Sphinx. I already did it once, but I have no problem doing it again. All right, Jason, here you go, my friend. Okay, there we go. I'm going to be on for just a couple more minutes. I'm not kidding you guys. I have a freight train of a headache going on. Oh my God, it's so bad right now. But I was happy to do that for you. Let's see here. Mechanical Ron says, I build custom guitars here in Detroit. Would you like to demo one? Yeah, dude. Here's my email is in the description. So feel free to email me and we'll set something up. Thank you. I'll be happy to. I mean, you see what I play. You know, I play the JP Majesty guitars with the whammy bar and all that. So, yeah, I'm all about the whammy bars and all that. So, if you got something that's kind of, you know, in that vein of guitar, I'd be happy to demo it. You got 7 strings, whatever. So just like email me and we'll set something up. Absolutely. Thank you. I'd be happy to do that for you. Let's see here. Yes, who gave the thumbs down? That's a crummy thing to do. You know, it's funny, like every video I do, I always get like 1 to 3 thumbs downs. I don't know what it is. I don't know who these people are, but I think it's kind of funny. It's like, whatever, man. You know? Jason Taylor says, that sings. Love how it sounded. Let's see. Love it. Sounded good recently when you didn't have the wah, but way better with it. Oh yeah, that's right. When I played it last week, I didn't have the wah, but yeah, that song just screams wah, right? It's just got that kind of thing going on with it. Thank you. Jeffrey Blanco, I always give it a thumbs up. Thank you. I appreciate that. He says, your videos are always great and playing is awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. It helps me with the algorithm too when I get the thumbs up, because YouTube rewards channels that get a lot of thumbs up, and they put you in the suggested videos. So that's why we always ask for, if you're really liking the content, one of the best things you can do is share me on, like, in your social media groups, like, hey, amp groups or whatever, like, hey, check this out, there's a Badlander or the Savage or the Diezel or whatever. It helps me big time, to get more viewers, and also with the YouTube algorithm. Christopher says, get that headache taken care of. Have an awesome night, and thank you for still hanging with us tonight. You rock. Thanks, buddy. I will do that for sure. Yeah. Oh, thanks for your subbing, Svenzia. I appreciate that very much. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Well, I'm going to play a couple more riffs, and then I gotta go take some Advil. I'm not kidding you. I feel like my head's about to explode. 1 second here. Okay, yep, that's great amp. So Motor City, there's links below if you want to shop at Motor City. They do have some of the rack mount ones in stock. I think they got 1 or 2 left. And they have a 50 watt there as well, the regular, the amp head. I sell that there today. So, I mean, they're a great store. They ship all over the U.S., and if you buy outside of the state of Michigan, you get free, no sales tax. So, yeah, and they're great amps. They really are. So, I honestly, I highly recommend it, and I'm glad I got it for the show, for entertainment purposes, for my own self, and for comparisons and shootouts with other amps. I think it's definitely a benchmark type amp to compare things to. The profiles are going to be great, so I can't wait to get those out too. So, all right. So I'm very sorry that I have to cut it short tonight, but man, I'm not kidding you. I am like, my head feels like it's going to explode. All right, Sean Casey, thank you very much. This sounds good as always. Thank you so much. Well, guys, thank you very much for being here. I know there's a lot of things you could be doing with your time and other channels you could be watching, and I'm honored and privileged to have every one of you here. Very much appreciate it. And as I always say, every day is a gift, and thank you so much for spending part of yours with me. I'll be live with Carrie on Sunday at 7 o'clock, and we'll be hanging out talking about the shootout and who knows what else. We'll have a good time with you guys, so we look forward to seeing you then. So, again, thank you so much for being here, guys. I got to go take some Advil. You guys all have a great night. God bless you guys. I love every one of you, and I will see you all very soon. Take care.